Madam President, the conflict in Sudan is having far-reaching consequences that extend well beyond its borders. Recent reports of violent clashes at the tri-border zone of Sudan, Libya and Egypt, involving the Sudanese Armed Forces, the Rapid Support Forces, and forces affiliated with the Libyan National Army are deeply concerning and mark a serious escalation. Abyei has also seen an increased presence of armed Rapid Support Forces personnel, exacerbating the already fragile security situation in the Abyei area.
This is the journey to One Africa. Hey guys, as you're watching this video, our vision is to reach 500,000 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button, join membership to support our channel, join Patreon and PayPal. All the links are in the description. Do that to stand with us for this beautiful cause of One Africa right now. We do not forget to sign up for the petition. The link is down below. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Shana Lewis. I now give the floor to Ms. Martha Ama-Akia-Pobi.
Madam President, for too long, the conflict in Sudan has gravely imperiled lives of Sudanese civilians. Security conditions remain dire, marked by shifting front lines, increased and often indiscriminate aerial assaults by both the Sudanese Armed Forces and the Rapid Support Forces, and continuous attacks on civilians and civilian infrastructure, including hospitals. The warring parties appear unrelenting in their resolve to pursue military objectives. The fighting shows no signs of abating. In recent weeks, the focus of the conflict has shifted once more to the Darfur and Kordofan regions. The Kordofans are increasingly emerging as an epicenter of fighting. The warring parties have reportedly exchanged heavy drone strikes and artillery fire on multiple fronts. El Obeid, the capital of North Kordofan, and one of the largest cities in the region, is likely to remain a key flashpoint in the coming weeks. De-escalation is urgently needed. Madam President, we are particularly worried about the growing use of advanced weaponry, including long-range drones. This has expanded hostilities into previously stable areas of the country. Aerial attacks in populated areas have already caused significant civilian casualties and mass displacement. This trend is likely to intensify through the rainy season as movement on the ground becomes more difficult. Madam President, the conflict in Sudan is having far-reaching consequences that extend well beyond its borders. Recent reports of violent clashes at the tri-border zone of Sudan, Libya and Egypt, involving the Sudanese Armed Forces, the Rapid Support Forces, and forces affiliated with the Libyan National Army are deeply concerning and mark a serious escalation. Abyei has also seen an increased presence of armed Rapid Support Forces personnel, exacerbating the already fragile security situation in the Abyei area. The Rapid Support Forces are also present in northeastern Central African Republic, where they are recruiting. Just days ago, this council condemned a recent attack on MINUSCA peacekeepers by suspected Sudanese armed elements. One peacekeeper was killed, and another one was seriously injured. We cannot afford further regional instability and spillover conflict. Madam President, as the situation on the ground in the Sudan further deteriorates, grave violations of international humanitarian and human rights law continue. We are horrified by widespread sexual violence, including against children, and attacks on humanitarian workers. The Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights has documented a tripling of arbitrary killings of civilians between February and April. This increase was largely due to numerous incidents of summary executions in Khartoum, reportedly carried out by the Sudanese Armed Forces and its allies on people suspected of being collaborators with the Rapid Support Forces, including on the basis of ethnic identity. Meanwhile, we remain deeply concerned about the situation in Al-Fashir, which continues to be sieged by the Rapid Support Forces. On 15th June, the Rapid Support Forces launched yet another attack on the city, following months of increased mobilization of fighters, including the recruitment of children across Darfur. Entrenched impunity is fueling these and other gross human rights violations and abuses. All parties to the conflict must be held accountable for their actions. Moreover, the commitments of warring parties have made to protect civilians, including in the Jeddah Declaration of May 2023, must be translated into concrete action. Last week, the Security Council heard from our humanitarian colleagues about the dire situation. We are pursuing a predictable and time-bound humanitarian pause to facilitate safe humanitarian movements into and out of areas affected by ongoing fighting, beginning with Al-Fashir, and allow civilians to leave voluntarily and securely. We will continue to urge the parties to make progress on measures that strengthen the protection of civilians without preconditions. Madam President, following his swearing-in on 31st May, Prime Minister Idris set about to form a new government, dismissing the previous cabinet on 1st June. On 19th June, he outlined in a national address the structure of the new government he is seeking to form, labeling it the Government of Hope. He announced that it would consist of 22 ministries comprising technocrats selected based on competence and professional expertise, with no political affiliations. Meanwhile, divisions persist within the Tacit Alliance, led by the Rapid Support Forces, over the composition of the planned parallel government in areas under its control. We encourage all parties to preserve Sudan's unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity as a critical element for a sustainable solution to this crisis. In this regard, it is essential to have civilian leadership for the shaping of a political consensus and formulating an inclusive vision for the restoration of a peaceful, civilian-led transition. Madam President, since my last briefing, the Secretary General's personal envoy for the Sudan, Ramtan Lamamra, has further intensified his engagements with regional and international actors to help chart a path toward ending the conflict. The personal envoy remains in close contact with the warring parties, including in efforts to convene discussions in proximity format on strengthening the protection of civilians. Following his visit to Port Sudan in April, a team led by the personal envoy's office is poised